Hello and welcome to this video on bus stop division. A really important starting point is to know your times tables, so do your best to try and learn these. That's because it will really help when you're doing bus stop division. It will just make each little step that much quicker. You need to be able to answer questions like this to be able to do bus stop division, so let's start with these. The first question says how many 3's in 18? Well, this is a nice straightforward one because 3 goes exactly into 18. We say that 3 is a factor of 18. So 3 goes exactly into 18 6 times. So the answer to that one is 6. How many 4's in 28? Well, again, 4 is a factor of 28 and it goes exactly into 28 and it goes 7 times. So these are your multiplication facts. So you can think about it as 3 multiplied by 6 gives you 18 and 3 multiplied by 7 gives you 28. This question, however, is slightly different. It says how many 8's in 50? Well, 8 is not a factor of 50, so it doesn't go in exactly. But we can think about it a different way. So I've got a little diagram to think about it in a different way. So here is a little diagram of dots. So I've got each row is 8 dots and I've got 50 dots altogether. So how many 8's is that? Well, if we count them, we can see that we've got one row of 8 here. This is 1 8, 2 8's, 3 8's, 4 8's, 5 8's, 6 8's. So it goes in 6 times, remainder 2. So I'm going to write it as 6 remainder 2. Okay, 6 rows of 8, remainder 2. And that is really important for bus stop division, and that will become apparent shortly. If, of course, you know your times tables, you can think about it as 8 multiplied by 6, which is 48, and then you've got 2 left over, which take you up to your 50. What about this one? How many 9's in 32? So in a similar fashion, I'm going to show you rows of 9. So how many rows of 9, how many whole rows of 9 have I got? I've got 1 row of 9, 2, 3 rows of 9, and then 5 left over. So 3 rows of 9, so it goes in 3, remainder 5. And again, you can think about it as a times table, so 9 multiplied by 3 is 27, and then I've got 5 left over, taking me up to my 32. Okay, so let's do an example. It says work out 68 divided by 2. So let's start off by drawing a bus stop. And what do I mean by a bus stop? I literally mean these 2 lines. That's all we think about it as in maths. That is your bus stop. That's about as artistic as I get. So that's a bus stop, and you put whatever you're dividing by always goes on the outside of the bus stop. Okay, so that 2 goes there. And then the number on the left, the first number, goes inside the bus stop. 68. Your first question to yourself is how many 2's in 6? So hopefully you can see why I did those first questions a moment ago. So how many 2's in 6? There are 3. And I'm putting that 3 directly above that 6. My next question to myself is how many 2's in 8? And there are 4 2's in 8. So I put my 4 directly above there. And that's it. There's nothing much more going on there. Another way that you might have seen or might be familiar with is looking at the number 68 and thinking about if you're just dividing by 2, you can literally halve each digit. Now, do be careful, of course, with this because it literally only works for cases where you've got even digits here. 6 is even and 8 is even, so I can nicely divide it by 2 and get my half of my number, which of course halving is the same as dividing by 2. But I'm trying to build up the idea of this bus stop with a nice straightforward example, but the bus stop is going to be the main tool that you're going to need when doing division. This one, but you can do it like this when you're dividing by 2, but really we need to be thinking about using bus stops for division because they're going to get more difficult shortly. Example number 2, 94 divided by 2. So again, I'm going to draw my bus stop and I'm going to put the 2 on the outside and the 94 on the inside. And let's have a think about the questions I'm going to ask myself now. So now I'm going to say how many 2's in 9? Well, I know that 2 times 4 is 8, but that doesn't quite get me to 9, so I've got 1 left over. So 2's into 9 go 4 times, remainder 1. And the 1 goes there because 2 times 4 is 8, and I've got to have 1 more to get up to my 9. My next question to myself is how many 2's in 14, and if you know your tables, you know that 2 7's are 14, so my answer there is 47. Example number 3, 87 divided by 3. Let's do a bus stop. You put the divisor, or this bit here that you're dividing by, on the outside. 87 goes on the inside. And then my first question to myself is how many 3's in 8? Well, the most number of 3's I can get is 2 lots of 3, which is 6. So I'm going to say 2 lots of 3, which is 6. But then I've got a remainder of 2 because I've got to go from 6 to 8, which means I've got a remainder of 2. Then my question becomes how many 3's in 27? And 3 is a factor of 27, so it goes in exactly. And 3 9's are 27. Example 4. 495 divided by 3. Draw your bus stop, make it a bit longer this time because it's a 3-digit number. 495 goes on the inside. 3 goes on the outside. My first question to myself is how many 3's in 4? 1 lot of 3 in 4, remainder 1. How many 3's in 19? Well, I know that 3 6's are 18, and then I've got 1 left over. And my final question to myself is how many 3's in 15, which is 5. So my answer is 165. Be really careful, try and keep all your digits absolutely in line with each other. Example 5, 860 divided by 4. Draw your bus stop. Remember the divisor goes on the outside of your bus stop, 860 goes on the inside. My first question to myself is how many 4's in 8? Well, we know that 4 is a factor of 8, so it goes in exactly twice. My next question to myself is how many 4's in 6? That is 1, remainder 2, and finally how many 4's in 20? 5. 860 divided by 4 is 215. Example 6, 508 divided by 4. Got a 0 in here, so let's see how that changes things a little bit. So 508 goes on the inside, 4 goes on the outside. How many 4's in 5? 1, remainder 1. My question is now how many 4's in 10? Okay, that now becomes a 10. And there are 2 4's in 10 with 2 left over. How many 4's in 28? Well, 7 4's are 28. Example 7. Oh dear. Let's draw my bus stop. 5 goes on the outside. 535 on the inside. Now watch carefully with this one. My first question to myself is how many 5's in 5? Well, that is just 1. How many 5's in 3? Well, 5 doesn't divide into 3, so I have to put a 0 here. Now what happens? Well, I've still got this 3 to deal with, so I've still got to put that 3 here. So my question now becomes how many 5s in 35, which is 7. So quickly run through that again. How many 5s in 5? 1. How many 5s in 3? Well, I can't get 5 out of 3, so I have to put a 0 there, but I still have to account for that 3, so I put it there. And my final part of my question is how many 5s in 35, which is 7. So 535 divided by 5 is 107. Similar example, 728 divided by 7. Let's do the bus stop. Not quite that big. Put the 7 on the outside, 728 on the inside. First question to yourself is how many 7s in 7? That is 1. How many 7s can I get out of 2? Well, I can't get any 7s out of 2, so I have to put a 0 there, and I have to take that 2 to there. So now my question now is how many 7s in 28, which is 4. So 104 is your answer. Example 9, 816 divided by 6. Put the 6 on the outside, it's the divisor. 816 on the inside. How many 6s in 8? 1. Remainder 2. How many 6s in 21? 3. Remainder 3. And how many 6s in 36? 6. And example 10. 952 divided by 8. Let's have a look. 8 on the outside. 952 on the inside. How many 8s in 9? Well, I can get 1 8 out of 9. Remainder 1. How many 8s in 15? Just 1, remainder 7. And how many 8s in 72? Well, 9 8s are 72. 119. Okay, here are a couple of questions for you to have a go at yourself. So pause the video, have a go at these, make sure you draw that bus stop, make sure you write down all your remainders on each step of the workings, and then you can resume the video to see the answers. So I will show you the answers in just a moment, giving you a chance to pause the video. And here are the answers. Okay, well done for having a go at those.